Warriors are back in control of their conference semifinal series after a Game 4 win on the road. Derick E. Hingle, USA Today Sports. The New Orleans Pelicans and Utah Jazz host Game 4s with a chance to even the series against the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets. Follow along here for the latest analysis and commentary from the Post's NBA reporter Tim Bontemps, and ask him questions in the comments section. Catch up on yesterday's games here. Schedule, pre-game reading, comments section Q. Going to their best lineup: Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala, for Game 4 Sunday afternoon served as the catalyst it was expected it would be. Golden State jumped out to an early 14-4 lead and never trailed in an eventual 118-92 victory in New Orleans. Win moved the Warriors to within one victory of advancing to a fourth straight Western Conference Finals, a victory they can get Tuesday when they face the Pelicans back in Oakland in Game 5. Kevin Durant was unguardable Sunday, scoring 38 points on 15 for 27 shooting, once again exposing the Pelicans' lack of size defending on the wing. Stephen Curry had a late spurt to finish with 23 points in 32 minutes, as well, while continuing to ease himself back into game action after returning in Game 2 of this series from 5.5 weeks sidelined with a sprained MCL. Anthony Davis led the Pelicans with 26 points, 12 rebounds, an assist, a steal and 2 blocks, and Etuan Moore added 20 for New Orleans. Nikola Mirotic, however, went just 1 for 7 from the field, as the strategy of having Iguodala guard him, as he did in the first two games when Golden State went small, again paid off. New Orleans also shot 4 for 26 from 3. Golden State didn't shoot well from behind the arc, either, going just 11 for 33. But against a team like the Warriors, being outscored by 21 points from behind the arc, not to mention committing 19 turnovers that became 21 Golden State points, is fatal. There has been plenty of debate over the past week about whether Stephen Curry is going to be fully healthy for this playoff run, like he clearly wasn't 2 years ago when Golden State lost in 7 games to Cleveland in the NBA Finals. Here's the thing, though, those Warriors didn't have Kevin Durant. These Warriors do. So while Curry has been solid, but unspectacular again in Game 4, Durant has been dominant. With 29 points, 8 rebounds and 4 assists in 26 minutes so far, Durant has been the difference maker in this series, just as he has been from the moment he arrived in the Bay Area as a free agent 2 years ago. Coming into this series, the main stylistic difference between these two teams was that the Pelicans had no one who could credibly guard Durant. As Game 4 is proving, that remains the case. Game 4 has seen the Warriors give the Pelicans their best shot, and the home team is still standing. That's an awfully impressive thing for the Pelicans to be able to say. The question now is if they cannot just remain standing, but come out on top. What once was an 18-point Golden State lead has been cut all the way down to as little as 4 late in the first half, and now stands at 58-51 at halftime in New Orleans. It's an awfully strange box score, though. Golden State is shooting 52.1%, New Orleans is shooting 38.1%. Golden State has an edge in fast break points, 9-7, and have committed 3 turnovers that have become 5 Pelicans points, compared to 8 Pelicans turnovers becoming 14 points for Golden State. So how are the Pelicans in this game? They have gone 18 for 19 from the foul line. The Warriors, on the other hand, have gone just 4 for 5. Golden State has also missed its final 9 threes of the first half, many of which were open looks that just didn't go down. None of this is to knock the Pelicans, who fought back admirably to give themselves a chance in the second half. But it's clear New Orleans is going to have to clean some things up if it wants to not only be competitive in this game, but win it. Ricky Rubio will remain out for Game 4 of Utah's Western Conference semifinal series with Houston here in Salt Lake City. Rubio, who hurt his hamstring in Game 6 of Utah's first-round victory over Oklahoma City, was seen doing some jogging and movement drills after shoot-around Friday morning before Game 3, but didn't look all that close to being able to go full speed. There was some optimism Rubio might be able to play in Game 4 after he was upgraded to questionable Saturday, but those hopes went away when the Jazz announced about 4 hours before opening tip that he would not play. Power forward Derick Favors, who sprained his ankle in Utah's blowout loss to Houston in Game 3, remains questionable for Game 4. If he can't play, Jay Crowder would seem to be the most likely candidate to replace him in the Jazz's starting lineup. If you want to know whether the Warriors can be beaten, there is one stat worth paying attention to: the combined three-point shooting percentage for Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala. Golden State has at least one of Green and Iguodala rolling from three-point range. An already high-powered team is basically unguardable. While Iguodala hasn't taken a three in either of the last two games, Green is now 7 for 13 after making 2 in the first quarter Sunday. With Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson on the court, defenses are going to force Green and Iguodala to shoot by default. If at least one of them is taking advantage, it takes the Warriors from being a tough team to stop to one that simply can't be stopped. It's amazing what happens when a team plays its best lineup to start the game, isn't it? Golden State has made 6 of its first 8 shots, including 3-pointers from Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, to take a 14-4 lead over New Orleans in the opening minutes of Game 4. Sometimes, this stuff isn't complicated. Don't play JaVale McGee, start your best lineup and good things will follow. The Warriors are experiencing that early in Game 4. Rajon Rondo and Draymond Green have had numerous incidents over the first 3 games of the Golden State Warriors' New Orleans Pelicans series. Warriors coach Steve Kerr is fine with Rondo serving his usual role as a professional irritant. What he's not fine with, though, is Rondo potentially hurting Stephen Curry. I don't see anything wrong with it, other than the tripping. Steve Kerr told reporters after Saturday's practice of Rondo's typical antics. I'm all for getting underneath a guy's skin, but you can't try to step on a guy's foot or try to swipe a guy underneath his feet while he's shooting. Those are dangerous plays. Kerr later said the Warriors were going to alert the league to the plays, but that it's not going to do anything. This is what Rondo has done for his entire career, going back to his days as the understudy to Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce and Ray Allen with the champion Boston Celtics a decade ago. One of the smartest players in the league, he's also one of the wiliest competitors in the league, one who knows exactly how to get under the skin of every opponent he's facing. He's undoubtedly done that to the Warriors thus far, and, in particular, Green, whom Rondo has made a point of going after time and again so far in this series. It has looked like Green might lose his cool a few times and go over the edge, as he did in taking a swipe at San Antonio Spurs forward Davis Bertans in the first round and picking up a flagrant foul point. Remember, earning 4 such points results in a suspension. Green and the Warriors know this all too well from 2 years ago, when Green was suspended for Game 5 of the NBA Finals, a game that allowed the Cleveland Cavaliers to launch their comeback from down 3-1 in the series and win the championship. But Green, to his credit, has avoided picking up either a flagrant point or a technical so far in this series, despite myriad run-ins with Rondo, including one, at halftime of Game 2, that led to Charles Barkley blurting out, on national television, that he wanted to punch Green in the face. I don't think there's such thing as crossing the line in basketball. You competing, Green told reporters Saturday. So when you competing, you gonna do what you gotta do to win. I never understand when somebody says someone is crossing the line. I said he's trying to bait me. Yeah, he's trying to bait me to get a technical foul. But at the end of the day, that's still him trying to win a basketball game. Y'all create these narratives of someone crossing the line. There is no crossing the line to win. You gonna do whatever you gotta do to win. I don't believe in crossed lines. Y'all say I crossed lines. I say I did what I set out to do or I didn't do what I set out to do. Regardless of how Game 4 turns out Sunday, Rondo will be in the middle of everything that happens. He'll make sure of that. The Warriors gave the Pelicans a chance to get into Game 3 of their Western Conference semifinal series Friday night by starting JaVale McGee in place of Andre Iguodala. Will Steve Kerr make the same mistake twice in Game 4 Sunday afternoon? He isn't saying before the game, but one would have to think he won't. It is still baffling why Kerr went away from starting small in Game 3, after it had so much success in the first 2 games of the series. His argument after the game, one he repeated again Saturday to reporters at the team's practice in New Orleans, is that the Warriors have so many centers that he was trying to buy some minutes with McGee on the court because the team had 2 games in less than 48 hours. Just my 2 cents, I'd personally have avoided the extra 48 minutes that will come with New Orleans facing Golden State in Game 5 back in Oakland, the minimum extra time the series will go after the Pelicans won Game 3. The guess here is that Kerr will go with the small lineup of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green and Iguodala to start Game 4. That will only make it stranger that he didn't choose to do so at the start of Game 3. Schedule: Golden State Warriors at New Orleans Pelicans, GSW leads 2-1, 3:30 p.m. ABC Houston Rockets at Utah Jazz, who leads 2-1, 8 p.m. TNT additional reading: LeBron's Other Cavaliers, roasted by SNL Bucks will make Becky Hammon first woman to interview for NBA head coaching job. Donovan Mitchell on dunk vs. Rockets, I just happened to be up there. Dragging these flawed Cavs to the NBA Finals would be LeBron James's most remarkable feat. Charles Barkley apologizes for saying he wanted to punch Draymond Green in the face. Steph Curry comes off bench to vault Warriors to 2-0 lead. Raptors lost a game they had to win. Global ambassador starts war. Drake and Kendrick Perkins skirmish in Toronto. NBA podcast, USA Today. Sam Amick on the West playoffs. What's next for Paul George in Portland? Why is there a snake on the Philadelphia 76ers court? Impressive as it was, Pacers' Victor Oladipo isn't satisfied with his breakout season. John Wall wants the Wizards to overhaul their roster. They likely won't be able to. The Miami Heat bet big on Hassan Whiteside. It appears they made a mistake. Now what? The one-and-done rule is on the way out because of NBA money, not NCAA morals. It feels like the end of an era for the San Antonio Spurs after first-round sweep. Blazers' next steps could include trading away their stars. All my best games I was medicated. Matt Barnes on his game day use of marijuana. Adam Silver, one of the WNBA's problems is that not enough young women pay attention to it. NBA, Twitch reach deal on 2K League streaming rights. Comment Q.